And yet when widespread looting and disorder arrived, the president did not act as decisively as many had hoped. He said little, he did less. Some voters felt undefended, some turned against him. Why did this happen? Well, there are many reasons. Trump was exhausted, for one thing, after 3 years of defending himself against Russiagate, the most elaborate and effective hoax in American history. And his staff did not very much to help. Some of them were actively disloyal, most were just confused. They definitely were not prepared for Chinese viruses or burning cities. But the administration's main problems were conceptual. Few seemed to understand what was really happening. Their first mistake was forgetting the primary rule of Washington. In an election year, everything that happens is about the election. There are no exceptions to that rule. So only the naive were surprised when Democratic governors immediately used the coronavirus quarantines to punish people who didn't vote for them. Christian churches and small businesses were locked down. Weed shops and abortion clinics stayed open. Most Trump voters seemed not to notice. They accepted the restrictions without question. This was a health crisis, and they wanted to do the right thing. So they obeyed. They cowered in their homes. And that's exactly where Democratic leaders wanted them, cut off from one another, atomized, and alone. None of this had anything to do with public health, of course. It was electoral politics, an especially brutal form of it. Republican leaders, meanwhile, were remarkably slow to catch on to what was happening. Some of them aren't very bright, but most just couldn't imagine anyone acting with that level of cynicism and ruthlessness. Their good faith made them vulnerable to their opponents' lies. They were used. In the days after George Floyd died, these same trends accelerated dramatically. It all happened so fast that it seemed like chaos at the time, but it wasn't chaos. There was design just beneath the surface.